The fluorescent lights of Grandstone Industries hummed their usual tune as Emma Clark walked through the glass doors on that bitter December morning. Her blonde hair fell softly around her face as she clutched her worn canvas bag a little tighter than usual. Something felt different today. The holiday decorations seemed dimmer somehow. Emma had worked in the accounting department for 3 years now. She was a quiet one who arrived early and left late, the one who double-checked everyone's numbers without being asked. At 26, she still felt like the nervous college graduate who had first walked through these doors. Her shyness made her nearly invisible to most people, but her work spoke volumes to those who cared to notice. Marcus Donovan stood by the window in his corner office. At 58, the CEO had built this manufacturing company from a small workshop into an industry leader. His dark suit was perfectly tailored, his salt and pepper hair impeccably styled. But lately something had been eating at him. The quarterly reports showed record profits, yet he felt a growing emptiness. His board of directors cared only about margins and shareholders. They had been pressuring him for months to cut what they called excess staff. Emma was organizing receipts when Patricia from HR appeared at her desk. The woman's face was tight with an expression Emma couldn't quite read. "Would you come with me, please?" Emma's heart began to race as she followed Patricia down the long corridor. The conference room felt cavernous and cold. 3 board members sat at the table with documents spread before them. "We're restructuring the department," Patricia said, without warmth. "Your position has been eliminated effective immediately." The words hit Emma like a physical blow. "But it's Christmas Eve in 3 days," she whispered. "These things are never easy," Patricia replied, handing her a folder. "You'll receive 2 weeks severance. Please clear your desk within the hour." Emma walked back to her cubicle in a daze. Her co-workers avoided eye contact. Everyone knew the rumors about layoffs, but no one expected it would happen right before Christmas. She packed her few belongings into the cardboard box the security guard had given her, the small succulent plant her grandmother had given her, the calculator she had bought with her first paycheck. 3 years of her life fitting into one small box. As she walked toward the elevator, Emma passed the executive floor. Through the glass walls, she could see Marcus in a heated discussion with the board members. She had never spoken to him directly. He seemed to exist in a different world. A world of power lunches and corporate jets. The cold December air stung her face as she stepped outside. Snow had begun to fall. She stood there for a moment watching the flakes dissolve on the warm pavement. Then she began the long walk to the bus stop. Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That evening he stayed late reviewing personnel files. He wanted to understand who exactly had been let go in this latest round of cuts. When he came across Emma's file, he stopped. Her performance reviews were exceptional. Her supervisor had noted meticulous attention to detail and unwavering reliability. She had caught a major accounting error last year that saved the company nearly $200,000. Yet no one had fought to keep her. No one had even mentioned her name. The next morning, Marcus did something he rarely did. He went down to the accounting floor himself. "Excuse me," he said to a woman named Janet. "Can you tell me about Emma Clark?" Janet looked surprised that the CEO knew the name. "Emma," she said slowly. "She was the best worker we had. Never complained, always helped others. She used to stay late every Thursday to help me reconcile the international accounts because I struggle with the exchange rates." "Why didn't anyone speak up for her?" Marcus asked. Janet looked down at her hands. "We were told the decisions came from the top. We thought you knew." Marcus felt something crack inside his carefully constructed executive armor. That afternoon, he called an emergency board meeting. "Gentlemen," he began, "we need to discuss our recent terminations." The board members shifted uncomfortably. "Marcus, we've been over this," one of them said. "The numbers don't lie. We needed to trim the workforce." "Did you know Emma Clark?" personally, Marcus asked. "Who?" one board member replied. "Exactly," Marcus said, his voice rising. "You don't know her because you never bothered to look beyond the spreadsheets. This young woman saved us $200,000. She worked overtime without compensation. She helped her colleagues improve their own performance. And we fired her 3 days before Christmas. One board member cleared his throat. With all respect, Marcus, one employee, doesn't change the financial reality. Marcus stood up and walked to the window. For 15 years, I've listened to you tell me what this company needs. Higher profits, bigger margins, lower costs. But I forgot what my father taught me when I started this business. People aren't line items. They're human beings with families and dreams and dignity. I'm reversing the terminations. All of them. The room erupted in protests. Marcus held up his hand. Furthermore, I'm implementing a new policy. Before any future layoffs, every board member will personally meet the employees being considered. You'll learn their names, their stories, their contributions. And if you still think they should go, you'll have to tell them yourself face to face. You can't be serious, one board member sputtered. I've never been more serious in my life, Marcus replied. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some apologies to make. Finding Emma's address took some time. She lived in a modest apartment building on the east side. Marcus pulled up in his black sedan just as the sun was setting. He climbed the stairs to the third floor and knocked on door 3B. Emma opened the door with red-rimmed eyes. Her surprise at seeing the CEO on her doorstep was evident. "Mr. Donovan," she stammered. "May I come in?" Marcus asked gently. Emma's apartment was small but immaculate. Books lined makeshift shelves. A tiny Christmas tree sat on a side table, its lights twinkling bravely. "I came to apologize," Marcus began. "What happened to you was wrong. It was my responsibility to know what was happening in my company, and I failed." Emma shook her head. "You don't need to apologize to me. You probably didn't even know I existed." "That's exactly the problem," Marcus said. "I built a company, but somewhere along the way I stopped seeing the people who made it work. Your job is waiting for you, Emma, with a raise. And I'd like you to consider joining a new advisory committee I'm forming. We need people who actually understand what happens on the ground floor." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll give us another chance," Marcus replied. That Christmas Eve, Emma returned to Grandstone Industries. Her co-workers cheered when she walked in. Someone had put a red bow on her desk chair. Marcus stood in the doorway of the accounting department, watching the reunion. He caught Emma's eye and she smiled. A real smile that reached her eyes. In that moment, Marcus understood what his father had tried to teach him decades ago. Success isn't measured in quarterly reports. It's measured in the lives you touch, the dignity you preserve, the kindness you show when no one is watching. That evening, as Marcus drove home through the snowy streets, he felt lighter than he had in years. The board would probably give him grief. Some might even resign. But for the first time in a long time, he felt like he was running a company worth leading. Emma spent